the mighty and resilient Merrimack River, carving through the communities of our great region. My name is Linda Lorden, proud president of Merrimack County Savings Bank, and like the river that serves as our namesake, we're a constant yet ever-changing presence. Because to us, it's bigger than banking. It's about powering communities and putting people first. It's about knowing where you came from and where you're going. That's Merrimack style. Visit us at themerrimack.com.
Hey, it's Kim Commando Today, your daily podcast to keep you up to date with all things digital and beyond. And I'd love to have you be a part of our podcast. You can make an appointment to speak with me. Just head over to commando.com, and on the top right, there's a button that says Email Kim. Fill that out, and that's it.
So, I was in Santa Barbara.
California?
Yes.
Okay.
I was in my kitchen, and then I spotted a helicopter.
You spied with your little eye?
Yes. A helicopter. And the reason why I could is that it was very close to me, like right over the house.
Okay.
Now, our house in Santa Barbara is on a hill. It's 462 feet above sea level.
Okay.
And the helicopter, when I looked up the helicopter's path, it was at 630 feet. So, I mean, literally.
200 feet above your house.
Yes. I mean, no, not even. Like 100 feet above the house.
It was close enough you could chuck something at it and have a realistic chance of hitting
Exactly.
it.
So I, of course, grabbed my husband and said, there's a helicopter like right over our house. And so what he did, he went into FlightAware and got the tail number of the helicopter because you could see the tail number of the helicopter.
Right.
Okay. And puts that in and then shows the flight path of this helicopter. And the helicopter was zigzagging up and down the coast of Santa Barbara, up and down the coast. Here, we have a picture of it. Now, if you're actually listening to the audio version of this podcast,
that's a lot of zigging and a lot of zagging.
Okay, is that I actually posted this picture on my Instagram account, so you can see where the helicopter's going. Then so that was the first picture was Santa Barbara.
Okay.
The second picture is Carpinteria, which is a suburb. Actually not a suburb. It's just down the coast a little bit from Santa Barbara. So if you go back to the Santa Barbara picture, so you can see that it's actually like. It's going in a flight path, so you can see it's going through every street.
Yeah, this is with intention.
Okay.
It is filling up that entire area with like a Google car. Remember those cars for Google Maps that would go around and film everything? It is definitely has intention.
Exactly. And so I sent that picture off to a friend of mine in Santa Barbara, and I said, "What do you think?" Because she's a pilot, and she's like, "Maybe they're scouting for a movie." I'm like, oh, you're so sweet, but that's not it. Okay.
Why would you think that's not it?
Because they were not scouting for a movie. I either think this was a home insurance company.
Okay.
Or somebody in the insurance industry. Or it's somebody in the county that wants to see like what you have in your backyard. Like if you've built an ADU or something like that.
For a violation?
Yes.
So not an HOA. An actual government agency.
Yeah,
that's
so they
looking
could
for
tax you
violations.
if you put a pool in, and ADUs are really big. Do you know what ADU is? ADU is an additional dwelling unit.
Okay.
An additional dwelling unit. And they're really big in California because of the aging population. Instead of having to build like, say, senior centers or assisted living centers, is what they're really encouraging everybody to do. Everybody to do is to put an ADU in their backyard somewhere so that mom or dad could live.
Okay.
Right there. An ADU, I think, can be as much as 800 square feet.
Which is fine. I mean, that's a one-bedroom apartment.
Yeah. The house next to me, she's building an ADU. I'll tell you, it's beautiful. I mean, 2-bedroom, small living room, kitchen, fabulous.
800 square feet.
800 square feet. So I think that this is the insurance companies going back and forth, or the county, because it's not like it was like, oh, let's just see what's over there.
Why? My original thought was it was somebody rich and they're like, I'm not ready. And so the helicopter was just going back and forth to waste time before they picked up, an important rich person. That makes a lot more sense.
It does. But some people are saying, no, that's not it on Instagram. I have somebody who said like they're surveying power lines.
Okay.
The power lines in my neighborhood are all underground.
Okay.
Okay, so
It would be tough from the air to survey them underground.
really that. So in case you want to see that picture, just go over to Instagram.com/KimCommando. Instagram.com/KimCommando. And speaking of a helicopter.
Yeah.
Okay. A helicopter loses power over a remote Scottish island, makes an emergency landing. Now, luckily, there's a cottage nearby. So the pilot knocks on the door and he says, "Hey, is there a mechanic in the area?"
That's good. I like that.
And the woman says, "No, but we got a McArdle and a McKay."
That's a good Scottish accent.
Thank you. That's because I spent some time in Scotland. You didn't know that, did you?
No.
I love Scotland.
Great.
You know, but your hair looks terrible every day
Why?
because it's so humid,
Oh, okay.
damp, you know, that whole thing.
But it's beautiful. It's so green.
Yeah. I mean, I actually played golf on the St. Andrews golf course.
What'd you shoot?
192.
And you only played 9?
Yeah, exactly. Like, can we play through? I'm like, oh, certainly.
Top of that. Well, that's Irish.
Yeah, well, that was all right. That was close. And on that happy note, welcome. It's Kim Commando today. It's your fun podcast about all things digital. And, of course, joining me is Andrew Babinski. Hello there, Andrew.
Hi, Kim.
And what do you have for us today?
A person was tired of getting robbed, and they used technology to catch some thieves.
Ooh.
Yes, very cool.
We have a great interview with an antenna man.
The antenna man?
Antenna. That was my New York accent, I think.
Antenna man. It was more southern.
Was it? Oh, God, bad Georgia things rubbing off on me. I hope not. Pretty soon I'm going to have to say dwarf the right way.
Robot.
I sent you that.
Yes, you did.
It was a picture of a robot.
With the butt.
With a butt. See? That's why, I'm always ahead of the curve.
Cutting edge.
Always.
Robot technology.
Always. Well, he got himself caught up in a Ponzi scam.
The guy on the internet?
Yeah.
Like,
He's gonna
he's a
tell the whole
YouTube
story.
streamer?
Yes.
Knows a bunch about the internet?
I know.
Oh.
He put in, I think half of his life savings in this, too.
Oh, no. I don't mean to joke now. That's tragic.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. All right, here are some things that you need to know about.
Whoa.
Oh, you're so right. We didn't talk about how great my jacket is today.
No.
Oh,
We got a new set.
yes, that was in celebration of our 100th show. I decided to buy some Ames chairs knockoffs.
Okay.
Okay.
Bames. These tames.
Okay, these are not real Ames chairs, just to let you know.
Yeah, that's when we started doing this. And you tell Barry, "Oh, we need to get some chairs." He's like, "Well, you have to get all the NBC and Fox News and CNN use these Ames chairs. These are great."
Yes.
And I'm sure they were 10% of the price.
A real Ames chair is about, I think I paid $5,500 a chair.
These were $5,500?
No, those are the real ones.
Oh, okay.
These are the knockoffs.
Where do you have the real Ames chairs?
By the fireplace.
Okay.
Not here.
Of course not. Not where us plebes can mess with them.
These were expensive.
Well,
too.
where were these?
These were probably $1,200 each.
That's expensive.
Yes.
I feel like that they're the chairs from the deck of the Starship Enterprise from Star Trek.
Well, they are on Shark Tank.
Oh, those are the same. These are the same ones they use on Shark Tank.
Yes.
Well, they probably use the real ones.
Oh, I'm sure they use the real ones. Okay.
I like them though. It looks great.
No, these are really good knockoffs.
Yeah.
They are. They're
It's
really
nice to
good
have a new set for episode 101.
Yes, and I like what Wayne said.
What did Wayne say?
You fill up the chair.
Snug.
I don't.
No.
No.
But then we decided that behind the scenes, we're going to slowly make your chair smaller just to think that you don't fit in the chair anymore.
And we were talking about, had some clients in town, and I sat between two CEOs, and because we're trying to figure out where to take them because they're coming back into town for dinner. And so I was at the head of the table, and there were two CEOs here, and this guy over here ordered a tomahawk 12-ounce steak.
Sure.
Okay. And this guy over here ordered some 16-ounce with a bone. I don't know what it was.
So they both ordered something really expensive.
Well, and it's just like meat.
Right.
Big meat. And I sat there with two shrimp. Going
why do you even go out to eat?
It's
You're a wasted date.
I am a wasted date. That little data breach that we've been talking about, the national public data breach?
Yeah, all our stuff's out there. Social security numbers, names, phone numbers.
2.9 billion people.
That's it.
Okay.
Only 25% of the planet.
Well, now they found out that, they had a file that was unencrypted sitting on a site of theirs.
Okay.
It contained all the passwords.
Boy. When are we going to be able to sue these people?
We should. We should give them big fines. Big fines.
No, because big fines doesn't help me. Big fines doesn't help me if I get my identity stolen and all of a sudden I have a job in Turkey working for some North Korean data mine. We should be able to sue them. Us, the people. So we benefit. If you get your identity stolen and you can directly link it back to a data breach, they should be held responsible.
Okay, let me tell you, your data has already been stolen.
I understand.
8,000 times. I mean, it's crazy.
But no one's held responsible, and the only one who pays for it is me.
Exactly. But you do have to freeze your credit. Have you frozen your credit? Mm-hmm. And if you haven't done that yet, for anybody who's watching or listening, it just literally takes, 5 minutes. That's all. And we have all the links at commando.com. Just go bing, bang, bang, done. That's it.
Now, during the process when you have it stolen, if you need it, what is the process like if you need to have someone run a credit check? Do you have to unfreeze it and freeze it back?
Yeah. You have to go sign in, unfreeze it.
But it's as quick to unfreeze as it is to freeze? Okay.
Really easy. And it's free. It's free. Meanwhile, on Facebook, there's a picture. This is a sad story. Brian Posh. I actually saw this on my Facebook feed. And it has a picture of Brian and then Brian and his wife and the little girl. And it says, Brian has, vanished. We can't find him. Can you share this on your Facebook feed so that this way we could all get together and help and find Brian? Okay. Well, Brian passed away. Okay. So scammers have taken Brian's photo and they're put this together. And, the whole reason why is that so when they get enough likes, comments, shares, whatever, is that they will take down Brian's photo. They'll put something else there. And then all of a sudden you'll get scammed.
Right. I told you what happened to me at Bash's, right?
No.
So I'm standing in line at Bash's, and it's similar to this story. That's what reminded me.
Bash's is a supermarket.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. A Kroger, a Piggly Wiggly, whatever you have in your neck of the woods.
Piggly Wiggly.
So there's a guy in front of me, and he's getting a bunch of groceries. And the person checking him out is asking him a question, and he's not responding. He's just staring off in the distance. And she's like, sir. And he finally just reaches over and grabs the bucket to this donation box that's sitting at the end of the register. And he says, that's my daughter. And someone had stolen a picture of his daughter off of Facebook.
Oh my gosh.
And used it as she was some sort of cancer victim that they were raising money for. Oh. And it was a complete scam. And they brought it to the attention of the manager. The manager obviously felt awful that they had fallen for this. But it was a legitimate company that was just using other people's pictures to fundraise, and it was his daughter.
Oh,
isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
It's just another level.
Yeah. It's like everywhere you turn, there's another scam. There's another data breach. Like today, Toyota. Oh, if you have a Toyota, guess what? Your data has been sold on the dark web.
We could do every week. We do the podcast and all the information.
It's almost, I don't know if it's worth talking about anymore.
It's a good question. I mean, I think people like to know. But when it's something as big as the 2.9 billion people, I mean, everyone's evolved. But I think people want to know, especially if they drive a Toyota.
Now, did you look yourself up?
No, I haven't yet. I just froze the credit, and
okay, because I looked myself up.
Were you there?
Yes. But what I think is very interesting is they have addresses for me that I barely remembered living there.
Okay.
I mean, I'm talking like college days. And they didn't have any recent addresses.
So they stopped updating the records?
I think it's because of Incogni. One of our sponsors gets you out of the...
This is not a paid endorsement. No, this is her personal story.
This is and they're not paying for this.
Right.
But I really think it's Incogni because they've been taking me out of the public databases. And right now, I think I'm out of, 41 different databases.
Only 400 more to go.
I know, exactly.
You'll get there.
But in case you do want to try Incogni, use promo code Kim60 because you'll get 60% off, which, by the way, nobody else that they're advertising with gets a better deal.
Nice.
I always make sure of that, by the way. And in case you need the links or whatever, it's commando.com/sponsors. You can see us there. We, of course, talked about me getting swatted with the Phoenix police because the Chilean gangs were targeting us and they were trying to come in. And I think because they heard I'm such an excellent cook. And
Oh, that's why.
that was it.
They didn't want your jewels. They wanted your recipes.
Exactly. Exactly.
Just download DoorDash. There, you have all of her recipes.
Ouch.
Okay. Ouch. How many times have you had lunch and dinner delivered in the last week?
It's not important. I mean, why is that relevant to this conversation?
You're right. I forgot. You're an amazing cook.
Thank you.
And so are all the chefs that bring my food directly to your house.
My 2 shrimp.
Right.
Okay. 2 shrimp are like $10 and it's a $20 delivery charge with a tip. All right. So anyway, what people are doing now is that you can go to Google Maps and blur your house out. So that when the Chilean gangs are trying to target a neighborhood, is that your house is blurred out.
Okay.
We've got the steps on how to do it. But Maddie is so smart. She brought up a point. Maddie LePerry.
Okay.
She brought up a great point. She said, so if nobody else's house on the street is blurred but yours, wouldn't that tell them that's
right?
That's a good place to go?
They're not paying attention.
I don't think they're that smart.
No, I don't think they even care enough. They're going to go in. I mean, they're duct taping cameras to rocks and putting them next to bushes.
Okay, and they targeted my house on a cul-de-sac. Okay, one way in, one way out.
Right.
And they ran into the cops.
But they also don't care. Because these are just people who are being forced to do this by other gangs and organizations throughout the world. They're victims too.
That's true. So are you going to blur your house out?
I don't know. Should I?
Mine shows a lot.
Oh, it's just empty?
Yeah, so I'm going to just leave that there.
Mine has the old homeowners' cars in the driveway.
Oh, leave that. Leave that. That's good. All right, and finally this woman's 53 years old in Colorado. And she decides that she's going to go on a spiritual retreat. She's going to go hiking in the backcountry in Colorado somewhere.
Okay.
She's going to go back to nature.
Okay.
It's summer. Breathe the air. And, on a spiritual retreat, what do? You meditate.
Sure.
Okay. You try to get back into yourself. And as part of this spiritual retreat, fasting was recommended to her. So she went on a hike in the back country without any food.
Okay.
Because she's going to fast. Now, she also didn't want any distractions.
I know where this is going.
So she decided that she wouldn't bring her phone with her either.
Okay.
So again, she's going to get into herself without any food.
Right.
Without her phone. And she's going to be one with nature. Be one with nature.
Can I take a small guess?
Yes.
On what happens next?
What?
She gets lost.
How did you know?
Yeah, she's smart.
Okay, 4 days.
Oh, God.
4 days.
Poor lady.
She's a dope. Okay? Okay. Who goes hiking without any food or without any way to contact authorities, get some help, figure out where you're standing?
But she was planning on doing overnights. This wasn't just, I'm going to do a 2-hour hike.
Yes.
So she was planning for overnights.
Correct.
So hopefully she had water.
Yes, or at least one of those life straws.
Ew. I still don't trust those things.
Well, I was in Scotland.
We've heard
and,
today.
No, and I was up in the Highlands.
Okay.
And his name was, what was his name? His name was Patrick, I think. And he said, and I didn't have any water. And he said, oh, let me take your bottle there and I'll fill it up there, matey. And so I'm like, where are you going?
Pirate.
And so it was a Scottish pirate. It was a Scottish pirate. And so he takes the water.
Right.
And he fills it up. And
was he at the end of the plank when he was filling it up?
No. It was
All
like
right.
a stream coming down on the Highlands. And so he puts my bottle of water there and he fills it up.
Okay.
And he said, here, take a slug. And then just as I'm putting it in, he goes, no, stop. I said, why? And he goes, oh, I think that's some deer dung.
Now, if you had one of those life straws, would you have drank it with floating deer dung in there?
No.
Yeah, I don't trust it. So how did she finally get rescued?
I don't know. I didn't get to that part of the story.
You just wanted to call her a dope?
The ADD kicked in, it was like too long to read. But if you are thinking like that, this is a good idea.
Right.
Number one, why don't you give us a call? Okay. We'll tell you why it's not. And also you can carry one of those little spot satellites. Mm-hmm. So if you do get into trouble, you can just hit a button. They're like $100.
Well, you also could bring your phone powered off. And if you need it, you pull it out and turn it back on.
Yeah.
You don't have to be on your phone just because it's in your pocket.
Ooh, I got another level of Candy Crush.
I've only been on this hike for 3 minutes.
I have to Instagram a picture.
That's probably why.
Yes.
Yeah, she probably couldn't control herself.
All you want is to meet your security and compliance requirements. But your business technology keeps changing. Cyber threats emerge every day. More regulations apply to you now than ever before, and your IT resources remain limited. The Center for Internet Security can help. At CIS, we work to create a safer world for people, businesses, and governments through collaboration and innovation. Using a community-driven consensus process, we work with IT professionals and volunteers around the world to develop and maintain security best practices. These resources save you time, money, and effort wherever you are on your cybersecurity journey. We also work with U.S. state, local, tribal, and territorial government organizations to share information with one another so they're stronger together. Join us today in creating confidence in the connected world. Visit cisecurity.org to play your part.
It's Kim Commando Today, of course, where Andrew and we talk about all things digital.
Yeah.
And I haven't told people to like, comment, share, follow.
Oh, no. You know, Mads, she showed me the coolest thing.
What?
When we're live
Right.
on YouTube and we say, hey, everybody, make sure you subscribe. The subscribe button under the video, it flashes.
Oh, does it?
Yes. So we have to make sure we use the word subscribe.
Subscribe.
Don't go crazy.
Okay.
But you also can like, comment, and share. It helps the algorithm. If you subscribe.
And like.
Yeah.
Doesn't the like button do something?
I don't know. She didn't show me the video of the like button. Oh, yes. She just said it does. All right. So we can just do an entire segment where we just go back and forth saying like and subscribe. Yeah.
That'd be so funny.
Look like a techno show.
Yes.
But it helps the algorithm.
Is there a donate button?
There isn't. Not yet. You'll find one. It helps the algorithm, keeps the show going. We're live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on YouTube. And it would really help us out. We appreciate it. The followers are growing. The subscribers are growing. And it's great.
They are. So I have fond memories of this as a child.
Okay.
Where my father would be up on the roof with an antenna. And
you had a rooftop antenna.
Yes.
Ooh, fancy.
And I would be like standing like in the front yard. And my mother would say whether or not the TV was actually, you could see it.
And he's shifting it around,
Yes.
trying to get the best signal.
And he'd be like, oh, no. And I'd be like, how was I know? And then my mother would go, it's not good. And, it's not good. And then you hear him go, God damn it. Grumble, grumble, grumble,
Right.
grumble, grumble. Do you have any memories of that?
We had the big TV
Okay.
that the picture was out. So we had the little TV on top that the volume was out. And the antenna would sit on top of that. And so anytime
Okay, wait. Okay. So you have,
Yeah.
wait, go back.
All right,
Okay.
so we have the big TV. Remember the TVs that were so big? They were like pieces of furniture.
Oh, yeah, the console TV.
Right. So the picture went out on that one. So my mom put like an Afghan over the top of it,
Okay.
but the volume would work.
Okay.
Then we had the smaller TV that would sit on top of that one.
So you got the picture.
Picture worked,
Oh,
but the
it's-
volume was out.
Oh, wow.
And then we had the antenna on top of that. So anytime you wanted to change the channel, you had to go up and switch them both at the same time because the volume was coming from one and the picture was coming from the other.
So that second TV was probably such a great deal you couldn't turn it down.
No,
I
we had
get
to
it.
turn the other one down.
All right. So, so when I ran across this story about Tyler, the antenna man, he's pretty popular because he reviews antennas.
I would not think that's that big of a deal. I mean, how many people are doing antennas out there?
It's huge.
Oh, good.
You know why?
Why?
Because now with over-the-air antennas, whether indoor or outdoor, it's no longer like these big antennas. Like they're about the size of an iPad now.
I still have the Kim Commando antenna.
Do you?
Yes.
Does it work?
Still use it. Yeah, I still use it.
See, this is why we never could make any money.
Because it wasn't shoddy enough. It was too quality.
Exactly. I mean, I still have people that are like, I have a Kim Commando tablet. And I'm like, ooh, I haven't sold that for 12 years, So people had like these over-the-air antennas,
right?
Because this way you get all the HD channels, and so like here PBS, you get PBS, you get
ABC.
PBS 1 to PBS 2,
right? All the digital channels,
right? So Tyler is a smart guy, and he's looking for a way to make some extra money. So he sees an ad for Agridime, and this is where you can buy, raise, and sell cattle, and you could be a participant in the cattle industry.
Okay.
And you could make some extra money. They promised returns anywhere between 15 and 32%.
That's a pretty big return.
Yeah.
I mean, if that was the case, everybody should be doing this.
I'm going to call my Morgan Stanley guy when I get done with this podcast.
Buy cattle.
What the hell is 6 and 7%, Bob? Come on, Bob. He's, I do owe him one, because I said to him, we should be buying Tesla stock. And he's like, oh, no.
Really?
Yeah. Never bought Tesla.
No,
Anyway,
but you bought, what was the camera you bought?
Pardon me?
What was the camera you bought?
Oh, yeah. We didn't know. No idea. The SEC and other investigators have revealed that Agridime collected at least $191 million.
Oh, my gosh.
From over 2,100 investors. A significant portion of these funds, about $58 million, was used for Ponzi scheme payments.
Okay.
$11 million went towards undisclosed commissions for the founders.
I wonder what that was.
So joining us to tell us how this all came down is Tyler himself. Hi there, Tyler.
Hey, how's it going?
Excellent. So you saw this ad and you thought, hey, I could be in the cattle industry.
Yeah, I mean, at the time, it was right after the pandemic, and we all saw the price of beef skyrocket. And I thought to myself, it's similar to a stock in terms of the price of beef going up. The concept made sense. You would give the company some money, they would buy several heads of cattle, raise them, sell the beef, and share the profits. And to me, it sounded like, a logical business. It sounded pretty good. So I invested money, and it seemed all right. In fact, I was actually paid out about a 20% return after the first year. So it actually was legit for the first few years, at least.
Now, by legit, do you mean they were actually buying the cattle, selling the cattle, making the money? Or it was a Ponzi scheme and you were just in the right part of the pyramid that you were getting a return?
That will probably be found out after the investigation. But for the time being, they did return my money, and they did buy some cattle. I don't know if they, according to the investigation, they didn't really buy enough, hence the Ponzi scheme and trying to, stay afloat and stuff like that.
So how much money did you put in?
So the first time I invested, I put in about, I think it was $15,000, which wasn't too much of my life savings at the time. It was probably like maybe 10, 15%, just to kind of see how it worked, kind of as a test. And then after my money was returned, I invested about $90,000 into it. And I know looking back, you're probably thinking, why the heck did he do that? I had gotten paid after my initial investment. So to my understanding, it was a well-run operation. I still saw the price of beef up, and Americans love their beef. So it just made sense to me that, I was getting my money's worth and there wasn't a problem.
Well, sure. I mean, if you got a 20% return.
Yeah.
I mean, why not throw more money at it?
They're working for you.
Yeah, Tyler, I mean, that's pretty logical to me. So then how did you come across how did it all fall apart?
So it actually fell apart before I noticed it fell apart. So with these kind of investments, because I wasn't going to be paid for like another year, this is back in like November 2023 when I put the $90,000 into it. I just didn't bother looking into it because I told myself, you don't have to look into it. They'll reach out to me in a year. So about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I thought to myself, you know what? I'm bored. I'm just looking up random websites like a lot of us do when we don't have anything going on. We just go to certain websites and stuff. I went on the Agridime website just to kind of check in and see if they were still, taking money from investors, offering the opportunity to buy cattle. And I saw a message at the very top of the website that said something about an Agridime receivership. And I thought, what's that? So I clicked on it, and then that's when all of the details were revealed about the SEC investigating them for allegedly run a Ponzi scheme. Their assets have been frozen. And as an investor, it did not look good. My whole stomach dropped. I was just not thinking straight for a whole day or two because that's a lot of money. I mean, thankfully, it wasn't my entire life savings. At this point, it's only about, a third or a quarter of it. But it's still a lot of money that might not be recovered. Yes.
That's a lot of money. And so what happens? I mean, when the feds do this, I mean, do they ask people like you to fill out forms or what?
So currently, there's a receiver who is pretty much gathering all the assets and trying to recover as much money as possible. I had to fill out a form basically saying how much money I invested so that I was on record as one of the people who were impacted. In terms of like other investigations, I am totally open to being interviewed, going to any trial. But as I said, I only discovered this about 3 weeks ago. To my understanding, it's a little bit out of my control in terms of the investigation, and I probably have to let that go through first before I can do anything about it. But in the meantime, I made a YouTube video just to kind of tell people about this because it caught me off guard. I feel like I'm a reasonably intelligent individual. I understand how investments work. I usually, diversify and stuff, and I became victim to this. So it makes me. I believe that other people can become victims of similar schemes.
Where were you presented with the idea for this investment? Was it an ad online? Did someone tell you about it? How did you find out?
So this is what kind of bothers me. It was an ad on Facebook, and I didn't just see it once. I saw it several times. And after I saw it maybe the fifth or sixth time, I did a little research and went to a website that basically said, oh, yeah, it's legit. And at the time, it was quote unquote legit. Whether it was legit that it was operating in the best interest of investors or a Ponzi scheme that was just working, it's hard to say. But it was a Facebook ad. And I'm just thinking if I wasn't on social media, I would have had an extra $90,000.
Yes, for sure. So looking back, were there any red flags, any mistakes that you made?
So there were a few mistakes. After I posted the video, several people had commented, and I saw some trends in terms of what people were saying. And the first is the return. Many people had said the return was just kind of a red flag, that a typical return is between 10 to 12%, maybe even a little bit lower if you're more conservative. This company was offering returns of 15 to 30%. Wow. And I didn't even see the 30% at first. I think the ad they sent me said about 20. So I thought, the S&P 500 can go up 20%. I guess that seems all right. But another red flag that I saw and I just kind of didn't think much of is the company took credit cards, which I thought was kind of weird considering that the company would have to pay, a 3% processing fee on these investments. Usually do a wire transfer. So that was another red flag. But I would say the main red flag was that it was a pretty high return that they were promising that was in reality unrealistic.
I wonder if you paid by credit card, if you could dispute the charge.
Yeah. Say it was a Ponzi
scheme. So
you
can.
Ooh.
Yes, a lot of people did. But unfortunately for me, I only paid a portion of it by credit card, and I didn't notice it until about 8 months after I paid part of it by credit card.
Oh. Now, after you got your first return, did you recommend this to anybody? Did you go and say, hey, if you got some cash, you should throw this in this business? I just got 20% after 1 year.
So I did. I told 2 or 3 of my friends about it, and I'm very lucky that they did not go around to doing it.
Good.
Because if they did, I think we would still be friends, but I would be in some hot water for it.
You're buying a lot of dinners after that.
Yeah, I'm buying a lot of dinners. I'm maybe even paying them back over time. But I think I even posted on Facebook mentioning that it was an interesting concept, as I said, and as you guys had said, investing in cattle, raising the beef, selling the beef for a profit, it made sense, and a lot of people agreed with me. Most investments, you think of the business strategy, and this business strategy made sense. And of course, unfortunately, the people who were running it who ran it did not do the right thing.
Okay, so we know this now, moving forward. Tyler is not good for financial advice.
No.
But
Correct.
antenna advice, you're spot on.
Yeah, that I am. I've been an over-the-air antenna enthusiast since I was 5 years old, playing around with the antennas. Started my YouTube channel about 5 years ago, and since then I've helped millions of people successfully cut the cord with an antenna to get all their local channels in high definition, because it's not as easy as some people think it is. If you just go on Amazon and buy the first antenna you see, it's probably not going to work too well. You have to do some research, figure out what frequencies are in your area, and a bunch of technical stuff that I help make it easy to understand.
Now, are you a ham radio guy too?
I am not. A lot of people ask me about that because I am interested in RF and over-the-air stuff, but most of my interest is in over-the-air TV based on the concept that the majority of Americans are paying for their local channels, and this kind of just bypasses that system. And it's so cool to know that if you have a good antenna setup, you're saving up to $1,000 a year compared to paying for cable and satellite.
See, Tyler, you know what you're doing. You're a smart guy.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Well, you know what? Thanks for coming on and telling us your story, because, hopefully somebody is listening right now and maybe they're about ready to invest in sheep or something like that.
Any Facebook ad?
Yes, and we just saved them from losing their money. Tyler, once again, you're awesome. Thanks for being here.
Yep, thanks for having me.
How does he still have that attitude? How can he be so cool? He just lost 90 grand.
Yeah, I'd be pissed.
And he's just like telling his story.
Yeah.
I'd be in that corner right there crying. That's not even a corner.
I was going to mention that to you. I was just going to say, I don't know if you noticed, but there are no hard angles here.
I find a corner in this building and start crying.
Normally a corner there.
Sorry.
It's got like a hard edge.
That's a lot of money.
It is.
All you want is to meet your security and compliance requirements. But your business technology keeps changing. Cyber threats emerge every day. More regulations apply to you now than ever before, and your IT resources remain limited. The Center for Internet Security can help. At CIS, we work to create a safer world for people, businesses, and governments through collaboration and innovation. Using a community-driven consensus process, we work with IT professionals and volunteers around the world to develop and maintain security best practices. These resources save you time, money, and effort wherever you are on your cybersecurity journey. We also work with U.S. state, local, tribal, and territorial government organizations to share information with one another so they're stronger together. Join us today in creating confidence in the connected world. Visit CISecurity.org to play your part.
All right, it's Kim Commando today, and I'm giving away a brand new iPhone.
Are you?
Yep, an iPhone 16.
You didn't finish that sentence, though.
What?
You're giving away a brand new iPhone to every single person on staff. It's so generous. We are all so excited about it.
And I can give you a 25% return on your money. What we're going to do is we're going to pull everybody's money,
right?
And then we're going to invest it.
Mm-hmm.
And then what we're going to do is pay out the returns in new iPhones.
Yeah, I saw the Kim Commando live podcast. I'm not believing this is real. No,
doesn't work.
Carry on with your plug.
Winfromkim.com. Once again, that's winfromkim.com. A brand new iPhone 16. So you could be like the cool kid on the block.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's what you want to do.
$1,500 value. We're not messing around here.
Up to.
Oh, sorry.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Who's going to win a prize that's up to $1,500 and not pick the one that's worth $1,500?
Some people like the little ones.
Those are crazy people.
Big ones. And
I like
this
it
and
as
that.
big as possible.
You're stuck with a Samsung.
I think this weekend I'm going to try and take it back. I'll report back on Monday how it goes.
I have to write a nasty letter to Samsung today.
Why? Oh, your AC.
My AC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still. You're still dealing with it?
Yes.
You have 37 air conditioners and 36 of them aren't working.
And I was looking at the server farm or AC server farm that's going on with there's a camera on it, and it's like there's like all these baffling. And I said to Barry, I said, "What is all that?" He goes, "That's cardboard."
Why is there cardboard on your air conditioners?
So that this way you can force the hot air up one way. This is not going to be good.
No. At least it's not hot.
So if anybody knows anybody at Samsung,
reach out. What's the email address?
Yeah, please just go to commando.com, hit that Ask Kim button. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep talking nasty about Samsung until they fix it.
So there's a woman in California.
Correct.
She's got a P.O. box at a post station.
Okay.
And she is, what'd you hit?
Sorry.
She hit a button. Siri's now going to yell at her.
I know.
She's got a P.O. box at a post office.
Okay.
And she's getting her mail stolen. It's happening multiple times. And she's like, no one's going to do anything. I could go complain, but nobody's going to do anything. There's nothing they can do. They won't check the cameras. They won't call the police. There'll be no police report. So she put it in her own hands. She went and mailed herself a letter with an Apple AirTag in it.
Oh, that's so smart.
It is. And then every single day she would go and check her mail. And she knew it was going to arrive because she was tracking her own AirTag.
Right.
And the day it was supposed to be delivered, it was not in the mailbox. So on the spot at the post office, she calls the police and says, hey, I just had my mail robbed. And they're like, okay, whatever. But I sent myself an AirTag and I know exactly where the mail is. And the cops were like, perfect. And they come out, they talk to her real quick, they look where it's at, and they go and they find the criminals. We actually have a happy ending. Yes. They found it was a man and a woman, late 30s, early 40s. Not only did they have 12 pieces of her mail, but they had mail from 12 other victims. And they were looking for and stealing checks.
Yeah, I was going to say checks.
Yes, that's exactly what it was. Now, the police said she did the right thing. She called the police. She didn't obviously get in her car and drive over there.
That would be a bad idea.
Ask for her birthday cards back.
Yes.
And the police were able to track them down and arrest them.
See, AirTags are fabulous.
Yeah. Did you know that in May, New York City Mayor Eric Adams is putting together a program where you can go and get a free AirTag from the city of New York to put in your car because they think it's going to help cut auto theft.
Well, you know what? It will. I mean,
but that's cool that they're giving them out. If you can't afford one, that's no big deal.
So I'm not going to tell you my friend's name.
Okay.
But
are they important, or you just want to dime them out because they did something stupid?
No, it's an interesting story. She lives in Los Angeles,
California,
and she's single. Mm-hmm. And she's, probably late 30s, early 40s. And she went to a party, and apparently this is something that is happening now in LA. So they're calling it an AirTag party.
Okay.
And so you show up with your iPhone and an AirTag. Okay. That's tied to your phone.
Right.
Okay. When you get to the door, you put your AirTag in the fishbowl. And then you pick out an AirTag. And then you try to find the person whose phone is associated with that AirTag.
Right. What's the next step?
So you can meet somebody.
Okay. Is that all it is?
Yeah.
We're ending a meeting?
Well, she seemed to think that, it was kind of like maybe.
You've heard of key party, right?
That's like the car keys?
Yeah. You put your keys in a fishbowl and then you pick out the keys and that's who you drive home with.
Yeah. That's kind of where this was going.
Okay.
But she thought it was like kind of weird and. So
yeah,
it
sounds really weird. I wouldn't go. I wouldn't have gone to the party. Did she show up and they're like, where's your AirTag? We want to be able to track you.
No, where's the AirTag? And then they explained what the game was.
Oh, and she was like, nah.
She's like,
peace.
No. And then she's like, that doesn't sound like a fun time.
It does
to me.
I mean, a key party. Have I ever been to a key party?
Yes.
No, I haven't.
Oh, darn it.
My luck, I'd pick my own keys.
Yeah. I've been married so long, I don't even know what to do. We had our 25th wedding anniversary the other day.
Congratulations.
It's a long time. Look, see, we got new wedding rings.
Wait a minute. You got new wedding rings?
Yes.
I'm not for that. That's your third wedding ring, correct?
Yes.
Because the first one, ready for this? First one was too big. Am I lying?
No.
What a problem.
Shut up. Oh
I just can't deal with this. This diamond's so large. Did Barry get new rings too?
Well, this is the funny part. Is that, see, these are called the Trinity rings.
Okay.
Okay. And the Trinity rings, they're actually 3 rings. Okay. So you see, like, they're 3 different rings. And when we got married, my mother was there. My dad had passed away. And so we were like having this moment
Right.
before we got married.
This is when you had your huge wedding ring?
No, we didn't. This was, shut up. My God, you're so annoying. Okay, so we have the 3 bands.
All right.
And so my mother looks at me and Barry, and she says, this first band is for Kim, represents Kim. And Kim, may you always be loyal and loving to Barry your whole life. Then she takes the second one. She says, and Barry, this band represents you, and may you be loyal and honest to Kim and caring your entire life. She says, now the third band, that's me.
I ain't going anywhere.
That's what she said.
So you've had that style of ring the whole time. You
Yes.
just got a new one.
Yes,
Okay.
but what's so funny about it is that I went and bought him an upgraded version of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're at dinner. And I'm like, and I give him, and then he looks at me and goes, what? Did you know? I'm like, no, I don't know anything. Well, he gave me the same thing.
Oh, really?
Isn't that funny?
That's great.
Yeah.
But that's not the ring you got married in.
No.
That's 2 rings.
Yeah. There's the big one.
Wait.
All right, so it's Kim Commando today. It's your podcast about all things digital. This is not the Kim Commando show.
It's not.
No.
Are you going to tell a story about Anna again?
They just stopped me on the street. Stop.
Because the Kim Commando show, that's the big show, the big radio show, 500 radio stations.
I know. Yeah.
That's finally a podcast.
I know. And they go, because I was always trying to protect the radio affiliates.
Right, which makes sense. Makes complete sense.
And so that's what I was trying to do. But, radio stations, they don't, there's not a lot of loyalty coming back.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of a weird state right now because I don't know. I mean, there are some markets where there's not a program director anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And where somebody's making a decision and they don't know what's happening in that particular market. I mean, there's one, well, I'll tell you, it's a city of Sacramento.
Which is a pretty big city.
Pretty big market, right? Guy just stops filling out the affidavits, and the affidavits is what proves that they are the station.
Which is what they need to make money
Yes.
with the Kim Commando show.
Correct. Okay, so they just stop filling out the affidavits. And so we call him up and say, hey, you're not filling out the affidavits. He goes, oh, I stopped airing that show.
He was it is right to not fill out the affidavits.
I just stopped airing that.
He didn't tell anybody? He didn't give a heads up?
No.
He
And it's
didn't look at his contract?
He said, we didn't have a contract. Like, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yes. Yeah. Then there was another market who said that, there's no numbers. And it's like, we pulled the numbers. We're like, yeah. Sorry.
He just wanted to get you off the phone.
You know what? No, he didn't think that we paid for ratings.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because for you guys, getting ratings is very expensive.
It's very expensive to get ratings. And so he thought, well, I could just do it this way. And
But if you know the Kim Commando show and you listen to the Kim Commando show, you can either pay for the podcast, which is an option, or you can get it for free and listen to a couple of commercials.
Yeah,
so
it's
it's
not a big
available
deal.
both ways.
you're going to love it. So you get, and because it's not with the commercials, it's not 3 hours.
No.
It's about 2.5 hours, not even less, something like that.
Yeah, it's a good, easy listen.
All right. So what else you got?
We got this dude. Decides on a Sunday morning, he's going to pop in his AirPods or his earbuds, excuse me. They weren't Apple products. Walk over to his oven, turn it on, and make some pancakes. And
You mean like a stove, not an oven?
well, it's an oven. Yeah, a stovetop with an oven. Yes, you're right.
Okay, well, you're not going to make pancakes in an oven.
You absolutely can make pancakes in an oven.
How?
Go on TikTok. I bet you there's 3,700 recipes.
You know what? All the ones I see are like how to make bacon in an oven.
Yeah, I've been doing that forever. That's how I was taught by my parents how to make bacon.
I ever since I watched the movie Babe, I could never eat anything pork related.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, pigs really can't talk. That was fictional. But regardless, he's going to
Babe could talk.
Couldn't. He's going to make his breakfast. And when he turned up the heat to get the pan hot on the stove
Top.
he noticed that the volume in his earbuds went up. And he was like, what's going on here? And so then he hit the button down to bring the heat down, and the volume was going down. The buttons on his oven, the entire unit.
So sensitive. Did you have your period?
Yeah. The buttons.
Sorry, women. I was just
yeah, exactly.
sitting right
You're
there.
not insulting me. That was last month. I'm fine. They were controlling. Basically the magnetic field had interfered, paired with his earbuds, and the controls on the oven were controlling his earbuds. How does this possibly happen? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that is crazy.
So he puts the story up on Reddit, and people are like, "Oh, that's nothing." And they were giving stories and examples of how their television remote would turn on the ceiling fan.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And everybody had these examples, but he was freaking out, and he put the story online, and someone else said, "I have the same exact earbuds. I have the same exact oven."
Wow.
They tested it, and the same thing happened.
It's on the same frequency.
Yeah, it's absolutely. But that would freak me out, too. I need this a little hotter, and Nellie's Hot in Here is getting louder in my ears.
Yeah, that is kind of a strange thing.
Isn't that weird?
You know, when you were talking about it, so now, somebody's listening and somebody's watching, they're thinking like, you know what? Maybe I'm not getting stalked. You know,
No, right.
It's like
the aliens haven't come to get me because they're turning up my Christian music really loud when I'm making dinner.
Speaking of Bluetooth, I lost my Bluetooth speaker when I was on the boat.
Oh no! Did it fall off in the water?
Yeah, it was sinking.
I mean, I knew it was coming. Still disappointed.
What do you mean you're still disappointed?
They're so unfunny.
They are not.
They are.
My Scottish.
You're Scottish pirate. Now that classic.
That was so good.
This program is a copyrighted production of Westar Multimedia Entertainment and protected by the copyright laws. Any rebroadcast or use of this program for commercial, business, economic, or financial purposes without the written permission of Westar Multimedia Entertainment is strictly prohibited.